Qutub Jaddi. The Qaf
of what?
of echoing letters. Echoing letters. They have echoing sounds. So there are the Qaf, the Ta, the Ba, the Jim, and the Dal. If you ever see them to have a sakin status, like the Nunu sakin, a silent status, if you ever see them to have a silent status, then you have to echo them. There's no way around it. Even if you see a symbol, a harakat on there, but you had to stop on it, and that haraka is not, those vowels are not double fathas in an alif. That's the only exception. Then you have to give them automatic sukun status by default. They now become sakin. And when they become sakin, what happened is that they echoed when you read them. So you would not say buruj, you would say buruj. So if we take this one, I think we will be okay. Go ahead and read the Arabic in that, please.
On buruj?
Correct.
Alright, for the first ayah. So
always, but say A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. So go ahead, say Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Was-samaa'i dhatil buruj.
Okay, so do not forget the stretching. So, and do not forget your son words. This is a son word, and there's a shadda. There's always a shadda. You know, a symbol of strengthening. So you have to strengthen the scene. And you stretched well. You had a meme, a continuing meme, mawsul with an alif. That alif was stretching the meme fatha. But when it came to the dhal, it also had an alif, but you neglected it. You did not stretch the dhal enough. Now the ra, another problem, when you get to the Qamariya word, which is al-buruj. You had a problem stretching the ra. You did not stretch the ra enough, and a waw came after it. When the waw came after the ra, it stretched it. So that's why, and then you did well with the qalqala at the end, which is very good. Just be mindful that so many of the ayahs, practically for the next highway of ayahs, you're going to have to apply that qalqala rule. For example, you would say, وَالسَّمَاءِ ذَاتِ الْبُرُوجِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْمَوْعُودِ. Because the dal is also a qalqala. Right? The dal is a echoing letter. Remember we said Qutub Jaddi was the phrase. It's a qaf, a ta, a ba, jim, and a dal. The echo. So this is a dal. وَشَاهِدٍ وَمَشْهُودٍ. Again, the dal ended. So we had to put an automatic sukoon on top of it. So, and then going forward you'll see. But go ahead, start all over. Just be mindful of your stretching, okay? The huruf al-mudud, there are 3 letters that stretch. And when they're in the complete form like that, because sometimes they're small. Sometimes you have waw saghira, alif saghira, and ya saghira. But when you see them in their complete form, you have to stretch them at least 4. So go ahead, continue, please.
وَالسَّمَاءِ ذَاتِ الْبُرُوجِ.
Buruj.
بُرُوجِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْمَوْعُودِ.
Good.
وَشَاهِدٍ وَمَشْهُودٍ.
Okay, this is a good point of reference, okay? So the sheen, it's going to be stretched because there's an alif after it. But the other thing is you have a tajweed rule here. So now you have to apply your tajweed. And tajweed Really, it's about the sounds. What sounds you actually give the findings. What sounds do you give in connecting the phrases and the words and specifying specific sounds. So the first sound, if you have idhar, is the idhar, which is a clear sound. Right? I don't know if you've ever looked into what does it mean to be idhar, but it means clear. Then you have the combination sounds. The combination that is a clear combination with just letter sounds. And then you have combination where it's just nasal sounds. Then within the nasal, you have light and you have heavy. And then you also have iqlab, which is not only nasal, but it's including a meme, a small meme, with that category of a single letter, which is ba. Do you follow so far everything that is being said to you?
Yes.
Yes, teacher.
Yes, teacher.
Thank you very much, sir. Now, the other thing is that we told you what the clear sound is. Now, we're going to tell you what the combinational sound with nasalization is, which is yanmu, the idgham with ghunna. This is yanmu, ya, nun, mim, and waw, right? Then you have two letters that belongs to idgham, but they do not have nasal. They just clearly combine the sounds. In other words, the nun is hidden and the tanween is hidden. Okay, so you have that. That's lam and ra. Lam and ra. Now, from there, we mentioned the iqlab. So iqlab is a ba with a little meme sound. We mentioned the idhar. Idhar is a clear sound. We talked about idgham, leaving one out of four categories, correct?
Yes, teacher.
Great. So when you did that, it left you with one category with all the remaining letters. And the letters, some of them are heavy, most of them are light. Most of them a light nasal sound. Now, the question is, what is the tajweed rule here? What is going to be the citing of tajweed that you're familiar with thus far? When you say, وَشَاهِدٍ وَمَشْهُودٍ, what is the citing here for you? Do you know if you have a nunu sakin or a tanween?
I don't see a nun, a sakin.
Okay, so remember nunu sakin has a partner. And the partner, I mean, they just as vested as a nunu sakin. In fact, they're 3 times vested in the nunu sakin. Because nunu sakin, well, at least they're 3 out of 2 vested more than nunu sakin. Nunu sakin is a nun without anything, or it's a nun with a sukun on top of it. But if
I don't see nunu sakin.
Okay, we know that. Thank you. However, the partner of nunu sakin, do you see nunu sakin's partner?
Yes.
Okay. So, which of nunu sakin's partners do you see?
Sukun.
I'm sorry?
A sukun.
So, sukun is not a partner of nunu sakin necessarily.
Dal.
All right. That's, you're lost. All right, you're lost. But make sure you make great note of who nunu sakin's partner is, and that's the tanween. That's why it's rules of the nunu sakin and the tanween. And the tanween is a fathataini, kasrataini, or a dammataini. Do you see a fathataini, kasrataini, or a dammataini?
Yes, on dal.
Okay. Now, make sure you make great note of it to never allow you to overlook ever again, because that's just the surface. If you're not able to cite the nunu sakin, or you're having a trouble understanding the partner of the nunu sakin, it's going to be a train wreck. So when you have that, now it's time for us to determine what the rule of the nunu sakin is going to be. When we say rule, we're talking about what? Sounds. What is the sound of this nunu sakin, of this tanween going to be?
The tajweed.
the tajweed rule. The tajweed rule, it has to do with sounds. It has to do with the clarity and the practice of the sounds and how you recite the Quran as it was revealed. So it's a very big difference. If you do not know the tajweed, then you're already lost. Never mind practicing it correctly. Even you can listen to the best reciter, but you don't know the rules, you're lost as to why you're making the sounds. You'll never be able to justify yourself. So again, that's just the surface. But now we need to know what is the rule of this tanween. So how do we determine what the rule of this tanween is going to be? What sound is it going to make? How do we know?
You have to find the partner, and then the partner will determine.
We don't need the partner. We don't need the partner. I mean, the partner already sent the tanween. I mean, having the tanween is as good as having nun sakin. So now and again, I guess a lot of practitioners never made the correlation that the sounds that they will make is going to be exactly the same. I believe Ahmed al-Somal, Ustaz Ahmed, he was the first one to make out a lesson of that. He's the one who taught me most of my Quranic practices there, but as far as memorization. But yeah, as long as you have one or the other, you don't need both of them in order to determine. You just need one or the other. Now, how do you know what to determine?
It's a
No. Okay, now listen to the question first. How do you determine what is going to be the ruling on this tanween? How do you determine that?
I have to. Well, there's two ways. The first way is I find the nun sakin and find the letter after that.
All right.
That's one.
Okay.
And then I guess the second way.
No, right now, look, right now, forget nun sakin. Take nun sakin out of your equation altogether. Nun sakin didn't come. Tanween came. Tanween came. So now tell me, what are you going to do to determine the sound of this tanween? What are you going to do? How can
you?
What's that?
After the alif lam.
After the alif lam. All right. Alif lam. These are letters. I'm asking you about the tanween. Where is the tanween?
Dal.
The tanween is at a dal. Okay. So now you see what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a tanween. How do you determine what the sound of the tanween is going to be? Tell me what's going on. How do you have to? I'm sorry.
I have to find the letter of the category it matches to. So
what letter? What letter?
Dal.
No, it's not the dal. Okay, say no. Say no.
No.
No. Good. Say no. All right. So that's not how you determine it. It's not determined on that basis. Number one. And the other thing is that whenever you see a tanween, then you have to know that you're seeing a tanween. And we covered that already. So the sound that you're going to give to that tanween is going to be based off of what comes after. Okay? What comes after. It's not where the tanween is at. It's what comes after the tanween. So what came after the tanween was what?
Nothing.
Nothing came after the tanween. The dal tanween, nothing came after it.
Yeah, I see one dal, but it's the last. Oh wait. I was looking at. Okay.
I have another. Let me ask you something else. Do you make it through? I know you get a lot of A's. I mean, how many classes do you actually study for compared to the classes that you actually take? I'm just.
I study 6 out of the 8 classes I take.
Okay, let me explain something to you. That reminds me of none other at this time than yours truly. There were not many, and I made that a philosophy. If I really have to get myself bogged down on one class, I'm never going to succeed in so many other classes. So I had to choose my battles wisely there. But this Quran class, this is a Quranic culture, meaning that the Arabic itself is included. The science of recitation itself is included. It is definitely not one of those classes. I'm letting you know. And the reason why it's not is because of the fact that, and it's nothing personal, by the way. However, most of the knowledge, believe it or not, most of what you're hearing, and there's so much more of it left, has only been recently discovered, I would say in the past 9 months. So it's coming in at a very, very, very high volume. If you do not, become disciplined in terms of thorough at each and everything that you're looking at, then it's like you're going to feel like you're drowning. Have you drowned before?
Have I drowned?
Thank God, no, right? So, alhamdulillah. I've been there myself, okay, when I was 11. Yeah, you don't want to get lost in the information. You have to take it, really passionately and really, really seriously. Because a lot of times, you would make judgment on the basis of what you do not know. And that's really uncalled for, okay? So please, make it your business to, if you find yourself like too involved to study for it particularly, go back to the YouTube videos on Tajweed and Quranic dialogue. It's really an advanced course that you're looking at. It's nothing, as a matter of fact, I mentioned to you Ahmed Abdullah Somal, Ustaz. He has his school that is about 20 years old right now. And anyone who graduates from his school will automatically be sent through high school. Automatically. He has a Quranic school, but it's the fact that he's involved a number on this exact topic, the Quranic recitational structure and the science of Tajweed. People really study it for many years, but he was able to put a lot of it in a very, very compressed manner to where any of his students who completed went automatically through high school. They went past go. It doesn't matter how old they were. So you had 13-year-olds going all the way through 9th, 10th grade just like that, right? But here in the United